Welcome back, viewers. You're watching On The Spot. Now, before we continue with our discussion, let me remind you of our poll question for tonight, in which we are actually seeking your comments and not a yes or no answer. And we are asking, what's your view on the campaign by the opposition MPs and civil society to impeach the president? Do send your comments to 8778. I repeat, 8778, and we'll sample some of your comments during tonight's show. Frank, let me quickly sample one comment, and then we will go into this debate as we were talking about the compensations. Patrick says that due to the evidence, nothing is being done because presently the IGG's office is not fully constituted simply because government benefits through that avenue. And that begs to the point that when even the IGG has taken these three ministers to court, they've again taken government to court for having the IGG's office not fully constituted. And this, the opposition claims, is a game government plays to push something or push forward a case and say, here we are fighting corruption, but also make sure that they fail that fight against corruption by having either a procedure or two or even an office not fully constituted, and again failing that cause, looking as if they're actually acting, but yet they're actually not acting on that cause.
Well, taking the office of IGG for not being fully constituted can just be like any other questions of legal interpretation or preliminary objection any litigant can raise in any matter. You get it? Either genuinely or maybe as a trick to delay the process. This has nothing to do with the president. You get the point? And I don't think that should be raised as a substantial issue of not fighting corruption. That's why we say that for any democracy, you must allow the institutions to take root. Our president has been accused of not allowing the institutions to grow. If you have the IGG who reports to Parliament, by the way, IGG reports to Parliament, Auditor General reports to Parliament, you get the point? Let me give you a simple example. On the prosecution of the former vice president, the president sought advice because he did not, I think, understand how the whole process of his former vice president had gone. So he sought advice. You know, our president is a very honest man. So he told us in a meeting, and you people in the media quoted this and said that as the information have been given is that Kenya has no case. I remember there was a lot of bashing from the media, from the IGG. He said, but I have no control over the IGG. You get the point? The IGG went ahead with his case against Kenya. You get the point? So that was evidence to show you that IGG can take me to court, whether the president likes or not. You get the point?
But there are those who don't actually believe you and actually think this was a political fight, an internal political fight, which obviously your colleague Otafire calls intrigue within the NRM
but
party.
What political fight?
An intrigue
but at the end of the day, court decided the case.
That had, exactly, because again, there was no basis for him to be taken to court, but a lot had been done internally within the party and probably within the government to have him prosecuted or even look like well, he was guilty of a crime that court says he was not.
That's a subjective opinion that we can debate another point. But at the same time, that's the reason why you need to appreciate that the president has no power whatsoever to summarily convict people, to demand payment of money alleged to have been lost. They can leave office. Either he can sack them or... But he told us, actually, and he said this public. When he was meeting Park, he said, your methods of fighting corruption are different from my methods. Mine, I am referring to his own, quoting his words, are scientific. I want to exhaust and hear all sides, and actually those are principles of natural justice. I am naturally a patient man, that is him. You can criticize him for that, but by and large you will appreciate. Since you now say that because of many other reasons, people can even frame an individual, that's also subject to debate. So that's why you have a president who is very patient. That's why you have a president who listens to everybody. Before he sacks you, Morris, because there are people who are saying if an allegation happens on Morris, who is a cabinet minister, the president should drop him there and then. Supposing the allegations are politically motivated. I am a politician against you. We have some kind of long-standing rivalry. I engineer some bad press against you. Should the president act on that?
Frank.
So really we must understand that the democracy we are celebrating or we are struggling to build, you get it, is the first of its kind Uganda has enjoyed since 1986.
Frank,
So you must take it steadily.
yes, Frank. Let's move to the market compensations. The opposition members of parliament fault the president.
Yes.
For one, having even read in the media or even received reports of an inflated compensation.
Not by him.
Not to one, but to two or even more people over the markets. It is okay. They probably even don't say that it is him. But the fact that he, even after he realized this was a mistake, did nothing.
Nothing like what? You see, let me
Even
tell
after
you,
the reports came out.
you have the president. Let me tell you this. The president is not mandated to appear before any inquiry or tribunal.
True.
So long as he's president.
True.
But you have a president who takes his time, removes his honor and reduces it so much, and says, I want to meet a parliamentary committee
Fantastic.
headed by an opposition chairperson.
Fantastic.
He's asked all of those questions. He facilitates the committee to answer one by one. Where he even doesn't remember, he's very open and said, I may not remember exactly what they told me.
And that is where they are faulting him. They're saying, where he says, a document was brought to me, I may have signed this document, but I am not actually sure that that information you're telling me about was what was contained in that document.
He's telling you exactly what he remembers. A president has got ADs.
Yes.
Who draft documents.
They are saying, fantastic.
Who brief him.
But what action is taken, immediately he has realized there is a problem.
But his story sacked his staff somewhere in court.
That is fine.
Yes.
The sacking of staff comes 6-7 months down the road.
Parliament, Morris and viewers, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Parliament provides an oversight check eye to the executive. You get the point? So, the president is even willing to listen to us. He's even saying, oh, what are they saying, wrong or right? So really, if we raise an eye over something and he picks it, so is that a ground for impeaching the president? Surely,
Frank, you have in that committee, and a compensation claim begins from what? 49, goes to 84, goes to 129, goes to 140, and then goes to 162.
That's why
the money is paid, and I am told that some of this was information coming from State House that through what you claim also and say his ADs, he had signed documents. And some of them
don't contain those.
Some of them are documents or letters coming from his ministers, where they suggest that we should need to pay this man, or even quicken the process of paying this gentleman. And he does not question how the figure is has risen
in the market
from 2 digits to 3 digits.
In the market issue,
yes,
the correspondence is from the president to the ministers, which pack appendix to their report as pieces of evidence. Or the president tells the ministers, handle this matter. These people have petitioned me once again. Solve it for once and for all. I want it concluded. There is no discussion of figures. And maybe that's where they should have come back to him and say, Your Excellency.
Yes.
And we don't find that correspondence. Your Excellency. Nobody comes back to him and says, Your Excellency. Yes, we are willing to compensate this man as per your directives. But when we computed, and maybe when we put in the auditors, the money has become big. What do we do? You get the point? All the president's intervention was trying to cure was to cure the same person going to court and actually getting a bigger compensation. So the point was settle out of court. The principle of settling out of court is to avoid the escalation of compensation. So now that's why we're faulting the ministers. That's why we passed a resolution in Parliament, which is NRM dominated. Because there's this insinuation by some political commentators that because the House is NRM dominated, we support each and everything wrong. People don't even bother to read the recommendations we have passed. We, much as the ministers resigned, we said investigations should continue, okay? To look at all people involved, including people named and others not named. Because what do committees of parliament do? They scrutinize the Auditor General's report.
Yes.
They do not have really the technical expertise of fraud detection, of forensic auditing, which CID and other agencies
But
may
Frank,
have.
surely, even
Yes.
in your position, you should
Yeah.
have seen that there was a problem from double-digit figure for compensation to a
That is why
triple-digit
the
figure for
Cassiano
compensation.
report
Yes,
was adopted unanimously.
fantastic.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
this report then has two ministers
Yes.
resigning.
Yes.
Again, even when they resigned,
Yes.
on the floor of the House, they continuously defended their actions. And that is where these MPs are saying, okay, if these ministers can claim they were innocent
Yes.
and are taking responsibility, political responsibility for their actions, but believe they acted in the right, with the right mind, they fault the president, the appointing authority. Why then would the ministers say they did nothing but are willing to resign and taking the political, the MPs seem to say the MPs are taking the political responsibility that probably the president should have taken, and that's why they are calling for his impeachment?
No. I don't see substance in that. Ministers have a right of reply. They are members of parliament, okay? They have a right to claim innocence. Our constitution gives them that right. You are innocent until proven guilty. It's not the other way around, like in the Francophone countries, most of them. So unless they've been taken to courts of law, and really, the president has not stopped IGG. I am sure, actually, I am told, he has directed all of those agencies. Even, I think, in the Chogam, even before the Park report was tabled, the president wrote to the prime minister, documentation is available, to take action on all civil servants and to make sure that investigations by the competent bodies commence. So you don't expect the president to wear this gown for lawyers to go and prosecute cases. And for that matter,
yes,
you don't come up with a motion to impeach him.
Frank,
yes,
I want to take you on something that has also just recently come to Parliament. And
yes,
it's very interesting. And I'm sure the MPs, it came about the same
But you
time.
can see how the grounds
Yes,
are collapsing.
yes, I want to give you another
Yes,
ground.
yes.
And I think this is when the MPs quickly raised, because I want us to talk about the bicycles, but let's discuss this.
Yes.
Dura Cement.
Yes.
A contract is awarded to Dura Cement, but later, through the president's office, asked to be transferred to Hima Cement.
Well,
a compensation is made.
Yes. Well, I think I would request you to excuse me.
Yes.
Because that matter is before PAC.
Yes.
And
you are a member of PAC.
I am not a member.
Oh, now you're not. But
yes, but I wouldn't want to do justice to preempt what the committee is bringing before us.
Now
but
again,
more or less, it could be the same stories.
No.
Yes.
You again hiding again in the
It could be the
technicalities
same
of
story.
Parliament. I will then take you to the bicycles.
Yes.
You have a scenario where bicycles are needed, and I asked, and,
Yes.
and for the LCs are supposed to be purchased.
Yes. Thank the president for that initiative.
Fantastic.
For making sure
But
that LCs
unfortunately, the bicycles have never come.
Yes.
Money was paid.
Exactly.
The taxpayer lost money.
Yes.
We've only had one person held culpable, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Local Government. You and others in Parliament believe that there is a trail, and we have not seen you develop that trail to bring down everybody responsible
tell
for
you
the
the
bicycles.
story.
That is the same impunity. The members of civil society and the opposition are saying money is lost through government offices and through purchases, botched, illegal, whatever you can call them, purchases, and nobody seems to answer for that money. The opposition is saying we need to hold the president accountable for this.
No. You see, the opposition will jump on each and everything to justify the beef they have with the
True,
president.
money was lost, isn't it?
Let's talk about the bicycle scandals.
Yes.
The bicycle scandal, first of all, even the committee, for your information, that became tough on the bicycle issues was the sessional committee of local government, which is chaired by the movement NRM person. You get it? It's a question of procurement. It's a question of paying out money before ascertaining that the deliverables stated in the contract have been achieved. You get the point? So there you suspect either connivance or some breach of procurement rules. That's not the work of the president. That's why Parliament, the NRM caucus, which I sit unanimously said that hold those officials accountable. The PS was sent on forced leave. Members of the contracts committee have been sent on forced leave. Police is investigating the matter. I am told police asked Auditor General to provide a brief. So now, you want the president in this modern era, okay, an elected the president, to set up a kangaroo court of sorts, even in the court martial. There is
Yes,
a right of fair trial.
The opposition are saying,
Yes.
here is a head of state
Yeah.
in which the various ministries under which he has appointed ministers and other authorities, because he is also responsible for the appointment of some of the other authorities in the offices, have grossly mismanaged government coffers in illegal purchases or even fraudulent government business. How come he has not taken responsibility to change office or even bring to book those responsible for the various losses?
But if a civil servant loses his job, isn't that disciplinary action number one?
It is not even just losing your office.
Yeah,
it is also
interdiction.
About, it's also about getting back the money or even recovering that lost money.
That's a process. I want to tell you that. If Nana Mafabi became president today, he wouldn't order. Executive orders would amount to decrease. Someone has been interdicted. Those are demands of the civil service regulations. Someone has been interdicted. He's getting half pay. You get it? That's actually a punishment. An investigation is ongoing. CID is collecting the evidence. If you hurry the process, then you'll have weak prosecution and you'll have the accused winning the case, getting an immediate acquittal and turning against you, asking for compensation. That is the price of a democracy.
Frank, we are taking a very short break. And when we come back, I will take you on one
inflation.
Of the critical issues government. One of the critical issues they are raising, inflation. And of course, that leads to something called an increase in public expenditure through government. But before we do that, let's take you back to a poll question for tonight, in which we are seeking your views on the impeachment or the campaign by the opposition MPs and civil society to impeach the president. So we are seeking your views on what's your view on the campaign by the opposition MPs and civil society to impeach the president. Do send us your comments to 8778 and we'll sample some of them as the show continues.